Hello, I am Victoria Seed and I am coming to you with this 10 at 11 session today from the Vesta Approach in Manchester, UK. And I help family members who are affected by a loved one's alcohol or drug use. And I also help people who use drugs and alcohol themselves to reduce stress, live a better life, and create a much, much nicer family life. Sometimes it means without the family, and sometimes it means going through the recovery journey all together. So, whatever situation you're in, whether you've just found out that your loved one's got a problem with substance use, whether you've known for many years nothing's working, you feel like you've tried everything, the Vesta Approach can help you. I have free to paid services, and every week, pretty much, I come on here with this video. So head back over and have a look at them. Today, I am going to be talking to you about how to prioritize your children's needs over a loved one's addiction. And this is part 2. If you missed last week's, go and have a look at that, because in that, what we were talking about was why it is important. Why is this topic important? And what I spoke about last week, I'm just checking my notes, was around the child's needs being paramount, was around how children living with a parent or carer's alcohol or drug use can be an adverse childhood experience, which has been really, really heavily researched internationally. And what we say now is that if children are growing up with a parent or carer who does have some issues with alcohol or drugs, then it can affect them negatively, not just through the childhood, but through to their adulthood, and cause health inequalities as well. And then the third thing I spoke about last week was around families trying to resolve issues themselves. So I cut that off because we've already got to 10 minutes and decided that we'd do it over 2 sessions. So here we go. How can you prioritize a child's needs over a loved one's addiction? So I just want to say, if you want to go and check this out in more detail, go over to vestaapproach.co.uk and have a look at the blog on this issue, because it is all there. So number 1, ask them how they feel. So children, keep it simple. Ask a child how they feel. In my type of work, I've worked with children and families for nearly 2 decades, more now. We're told to listen to the voice of the child. And the best way of doing that is to ask them how they feel. And this can be really, really tough for families, for friends of families, because sometimes we don't want to know the answer. And I can totally understand that. But if you ask a child what they like, what they don't like, is there anything that scares them? Is there anything they really enjoy? You don't keep it just negative. We want to focus on strengths, about what they like, about what they love and what they enjoy, not just negatives, because that can put everyone in a really negative mindset. If something happens, in the house or the home or with a family member that is possibly negative, that is quite scary, then just sit them down and say, listen, how did that make you feel? So you can be responsive to what's going on in the moment as well. The worst thing we can do is hide things from children, is try and cover it up, is try and think, well, just assume that we are protecting them from it because nobody talks about the issue. That means that children's feelings are not validated. Okay, so the best thing to do is take a moment, put ourselves in a child's shoes, think about the substance use and any associated problems with it might be affecting them, because it isn't just a drug or alcohol use, is it? It affects relationships, it affects finances, it affects home life, it can affect housing, it can affect contact with the wider family, it can affect being able to have children around to play. There can be loads and loads of issues. Young carers that end up caring for other siblings or worrying about a parent. So there's lots of stuff to be going on there. So ask them how they feel. This week is Children of Alcoholics Week, and I would really urge you to go and check out NACOA.org. and just have a look at what they are doing. There are loads of resources on their website. I'll post it in the comments after. Number 2, I've just touched on this, but please be honest about the situation. So telling lies, covering things up, hiding what's really going on can make things so much worse for children. Their feelings are not validated, and it can cause confusion, loneliness, sadness. They might blame themselves. They might think that all of this is because of them. They might hear certain conversations, and it just creates further worry. And the best way for us to deal with traumatic issues, or even if it's not traumatic and it's just an issue, is to just speak to children in an age appropriate way and be honest about what's going on. Now, we've got to be careful with this, because I have worked with quite a lot of families who have almost used the children as a tool to get to the person who's using the substance. And that isn't okay either. It can go too far the other way, where they're telling them absolutely everything that isn't age appropriate. 8-year-old child doesn't need to know everything that mum who's having problems with drinking is doing. Do you know what I mean? We've got to keep it to the facts, to what's age appropriate, that is going to be helpful for them, not that it's going to put so much on them that they feel the pressure. That's really important. Number 3, spend quality time with the children, if possible, outside the family home, regardless of the choices that a loved one makes. So we know that when somebody is having problems with alcohol or drug use, that they will let people down. They might be too intoxicated to go to a wider family event. They might be too hungover to get up and go on a family day out. And quite often what I've seen over the years is that that's it then for everyone. You've ruined the day, you've done it again, all of this. And by the way, I am not blaming affected family members, friends or partners for the behaviour that the person using substances is doing. And we're not blaming the person either. It's not about blame, is it? People that use substances do it for a number of reasons. And they don't choose to have problems with drugs and alcohol. It happens, and it doesn't happen to everyone. So, it's not about blame. But what we want to make sure is that we have really clear boundaries. So what needs to happen is you make it as easy as you make it, even if you are so angry or upset inside. If you can feel those feelings and try and learn to manage those, and this is what I help with in my work, but if you can learn to manage those so that the child's needs are put first for a little while, and that you carry on and do the things that you were going to do anyway without the person that's using substances, if they're not able to do it on a particular day or evening or whatever, because then the child is, and you as well, because you're going to enjoy it, are going to get used to living your lives regardless of the choices your loved one makes. And I know that can sound really hard and really tough, but if you get out of that habit of cancelling things and revolving your life around your loved one's substance use, it is going to be better for everybody. It is going to be better for your resilience. It is going to, you're going to need some courage to do it. And this is what I help my clients with. But it reduces the impact of the substance use on your children and allows you all to live your life. So please, please, please make sure you're doing stuff outside the family home, outside the drama, for children and for yourself. It's really important. Number 4, set clear and healthy boundaries with your loved one. It can be really, really hard when you want to maintain a relationship with someone who has problems with alcohol or drugs, right? And it's your choice whether you do that or not. You don't have to, but if you're here watching this, and I'm assuming that is what you're choosing to do, you do have a choice though about what goes on around you or around your children or around the children in the family. So sometimes it might mean for a period of time if your loved one really is having an impact on the children with their substance use or on you, and it's making you react negatively, there might need to be a period of time where there is some space between you. And that doesn't happen all the time, but you know, I've seen it before where that has had to happen for periods of time, and sometimes for forever, in very, very few cases. Sometimes it's been very clear with your loved one about them not being intoxicated or drinking or taking drugs when children are present. That shouldn't be happening anyway. You know, drugs should not be being brought into the family home. There has been a high number of cases of children ingesting illicit substances or prescribed medication like methadone, and it can kill them. So you know, you have to be really, really boundaried around this. It's not easy again, but it is necessary for preventing the impact on children. Families can get help for this from children's services. So there's a number of support mechanisms in place. I know that might sound scary for people. If you're living in the UK, you'll know it as children's services, social services, children's social care. In some of the other countries, it'll be called child welfare and things like that. And people don't generally think about using them as a tool of support, but that's what they are. I've worked in children's services. I've run services on behalf of children's services. The last thing they want to do is remove children from somebody's care. And what happens is, even if there is somebody that's using substances, if there's another parent, carer or family member that isn't, then you are a protective factor. So it's highly, highly unlikely to happen, right? So don't worry about that. But I've worked with a lot of clients who have thought, oh God, children's services are involved, or I've had to make a referral, because sometimes I do. And it's been positive, because rather than the family member having to manage everything themselves, the person that hasn't got the issues, for example, so a non-using partner, they get the support from services, and they can help you set boundaries with your loved one as well, and also primarily get the loved one the support that they need. So you get an extra layer of support. So don't rule that out. And, you know, yeah, so just think about those boundaries. So boundary setting is one of the key things that I work with my clients with. Get professional help for children. Cannot stress this enough. So, you know, let someone know at school or at nursery about what's going on. If you are pregnant, let your midwife know, because this can affect children in utero. Okay, we want to be getting in there as early as possible, because stress to the mother can cause stress to the child. So let somebody know. I know it's scary, but if you can, that is going to help you and your child. You know, and it might be that, you know, you're a partner of a mother, and it's a mother that's using substances. So you can tell the midwife as well and just have that conversation. Get the support in place as early as possible. What often happens is that families leave it a really long time, and then we're reacting. So rather than get support in place early to stop the problem escalating, it comes at the other end. We don't want that. If you feel like you're at the other end and you're like, oh no, it's too late, it's never too late. It is never, ever too late. So please, please, please ask for some help from someone outside the family. Go and let school know. Just let them know what's going on, because they can support your child in school, checking in with them, doing what's known as an early help assessment, just to see if the child needs any needs. They're trained to do it. So you don't have to take this burden on all by yourself, because people like me, like schools, like mental health practitioners, whoever, we are all trained to manage this work. When you are a family member in this situation, you're not trained. Even if you are trained, it doesn't work with your own family. Trust me, because I've been there, right? It doesn't work. So always someone outside the family home. And number 6 is get professional help for you as well. Get some help. There are loads of places you can go. ADFAM, they Alcohol, Drugs and the Family, umbrella organisation in the UK for the families affected by alcohol and drug use. offer a service. Drug Fam offer a helpline. These are free charitable organisations, right? You want to work with me privately, I am a private organisation. I'm transparent about that. So you will get direct one-to-one support or direct group work support without waiting lists and things like that. You can go to your GP. You can self-refer into IAPS, which is improving access to psychological therapies. So there are all these services available for you. Now, just a reminder, head over to vestaapproach.co.uk/blog if you want to check out this blog. But excuse me. And also you can head over to vestaapproach.co.uk/freebie as well and get my top 10 tips right in your inbox. 10 ways to family recovery. Drop your comments below and drop me a message if you need any help or if you've got any questions. Okay, take care. I'll see you next week.